Four, three, two, one. What's happening, everybody? I'm Steve, and welcome back to Junk Drummer TV, and welcome to the week-long celebration. It's a celebration of my third anniversary on YouTube, and doing a video a day of every kind of video that you'll see on the channel. And today is actually one of my favorite videos I make with my good friends Hot Rod and Jeffrey and Jared. And today we're going to talk about nightmare gigs. Now, every time you go to a gig, you've got a few hopes in mind. You hope that the sound's good. You hope there's like maybe some monitors. You hope there's a crowd. And then you hope that the crowd may like you. You hope that you get paid the predetermined price that they say they're going to pay you. But sometimes that just does not work out. Now, Hot Rod, I think that your stories are all going to be old stories, since you are lately been on the road with one of the more popular country artists in the world, actually. So you probably get paid what they say you're going to get paid, and probably have monitors that work.
Yeah, it's nothing like that, but there is some more recent ones in that realm that I'll bring up.
Oh, goody. So when we talked about this episode offline, Jared and Jeffrey, you all apparently you tag teamed a nightmare gig.
We did.
Let's hear it.
This is mainly Jared's nightmare. Everything was all smoothed out by the time I played, but
yeah. So we were playing a show with Jeffrey's band. We were playing with Up the Dell, and we were actually playing with Ona. They were headlining, and so we were opening, then Up the Dell, then Ona. And we were playing in
Milton.
In Milton on this stage, and I think we got maybe like 2 songs in, and like the sound was horrible.
Was it April Dawn Park?
No, it wasn't.
Is it like where the pumpkin?
It's a pumpkin festival.
Yeah,
it wasn't
Performing Arts Center
festival,
there,
but it was the same place, and we were
There's
inside
a
that
center
building.
there.
Yeah, there's a Performing Arts Center there. But anyway, we get 2 songs in, and the sound is just terrible. Like, it's just white noise, just horrible white noise. And I'm just like, I can't. I tell Jeremy, our singer, like, I mouth to him like, I can hear nothing at all. I'm just playing everything by memory at this point. And I start smelling something kind of funky, and then I go to kick off the other song, and Jeffrey yells from the wings. He's like, "Hey, your monitor, it's on fire." And I was like, "What?" And I look down, and this thing is just rolling smoke. It was
literally on fire.
And so, yeah.
And I remember in soundcheck and stuff, you kept on going, "I need more," because like it was just, the sound was not good. So it was like, I can't hear anything. I need more of this. And apparently, it just didn't have the capacity. The monitors were not powerful enough to play with a band.
Yeah. And so I'm just sitting there. I mean, they were monitor size. I don't know.
They're probably
they're on the floor.
Only 12.
Some could be monitor size, but be like as big as a laptop.
Oh, no.
No,
They were full size monitors.
15.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just
like
sitting
what you
there,
expect.
and the sound guy's in the back of the place, and this thing's just rolling. So I guess he cuts power to it or whatever.
Upstairs and in the back of the place.
Upstairs and in the back of the place. And so I'm just like, hey, like we're having a show. There's an audience there. And I'm just sitting there, this thing's smoking. And I'm just like, I get on my mic and I'm like, is anybody going to do anything about this? And I mean, it's probably a good minute and a half. And so he runs up on stage, he unplugs it, takes it off the stage, and just throws it out the back door. And then I had to play the rest of the show without a monitor. I think they ended up getting Jeffrey one.
They ended up getting one by the time I got up there. But
yeah. So that's the first one.
Was there great white vibes going on? Did you start singing like Once Bitten, Twice Shy when that happened?
It was very strange. It was definitely weird. But he's, "Hey, your monitor, it's on fire."
I couldn't believe what I was seeing, because it went on for a while when I was watching. It was like most of that song I was watching, and I was thinking of, is that a fog machine? And I was like, there's no way it's on fire. And then I started seeing the flame, and that's when I was like, hey.
Oh,
Dude, you should have just let it burn. You know how cool that would have been?
Oh, it would have
was
been
like-
awesome.
It was
Maybe
almost
burn the
directly
barn,
under
but
my
it's a pole
floor,
barn.
Toms.
I would have twirled a stick.
Was it Austin's fault? Was Austin just ripping a solo so fucking shred that he lit your fucking monitor on fire?
No, I think
Austin, of course, is his guitar player that we're talking about.
Maybe, but I think it was just our fault for being absolutely absurdly loud.
I don't think that they were anticipating how
No.
loud it was going to be, so they just didn't worry about having monitors that loud.
I
Yeah.
bet those monitors haven't been used since like the Billy Ray days.
Probably so, dude.
man.
Probably
Like
so.
achy breakies. They're
Yeah.
achy breaky monitors that catch on
They
fire.
achy
Probably
broke.
so.
They achy broke.
Oh, Corky played through those monitors back in the day, son. So, Hot Rod, me and you come from like kind of the same area. It's kind of one of the first things that we bonded over was we grew up playing in our family's bands at a young age and ended up, I don't know about you, but I ended up playing in a lot of dive, shithole, honky tonks.
Been there.
And there, I have a few stories about that. Do you have any from that era of when you were playing with your dad's bands?
Dad's band, by the time I was gigging with my dad's band, it was your run-of-the-mill firehouses, senior citizens' homes.
So he wasn't playing the honky tonk bars anymore.
I didn't honky tonk it until after high school.
Okay.
There was like the Midway City Opry House in like Culloden. That was a cool one.
That's where I played my first ever gig was with his dad's band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like people will put on their Cousin Eddie white shoes and dance the shit off the floor.
Just
and
strutting.
killing it. And no booze. Just they only sold hot dogs and M&Ms.
Hot dogs and
Hot
Big K
dogs.
soda.
Dude, but they're like Meemaw hot dogs. They're killer.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
like slaw dog.
That place is not a nightmare.
It's not, no, it's great. I miss it sometimes when I think about it.
Oh, these weren't dream stories?
No. Honestly, I won't name the biker club because I don't want to get off.
Fuck.
But those were some rough places.
I have
to
an
play.
idea. I have an
You
idea.
ever played a titty contest? You ever played Mustang Sally for a titty contest?
You go on, Hot Rod.
But
How old were you?
21.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. I didn't know if you were
21,
like
20.
high school.
I was teetering on 20 and 21. But yeah, like Mustang Sally already crushed my soul. And so did damn titties. Because it was all just old biker ladies.
Oh, old ladies.
Yeah.
Like literally like
They
my old
definitely
lady.
yeah,
the
like
speed.
I've
definitely
been
pulling
smoking
gravity
Pall
at 'em.
Malls for 40 years. And
The ones that flap in the wind on the bike.
the envelope flaps, bro. I mean, sorry, but
Envelope flaps.
it's not good for a youngin. Sorry, ladies.
We love y'all.
We love you. I love
Every
you so much.
titty is special in their own way.
But no, those are soul crushing moments. When
Do you
like
lick and stick them?
yeah, you ever have you ever been playing and then you get caught wide-eyed staring down? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's how those gigs were.
Yeah.
And when they like give you a list of songs to learn because they like them.
Oh no.
Oh, the bar did?
Yeah.
The biker gang.
The biker gang.
The biker group.
Okay.
Yeah.
Loosely
that's it.
affiliated
The club.
people.
Yeah.
Loosely
No,
affiliated
motorcycle
people.
club.
nothing of those days was a nightmare because at the time, I mean, all the VFWs and American Legions I was playing, I mean, I looked old as shit as a young kid. Anyways,
Not me.
looking back on pictures now, I'm like, I'm young. I look young, but it was like I was, pulling tips and drinking Miller Lights and VFWs for a long time.
Man, I
But
bet
none
you,
of those were nightmares.
I bet you Hot Rod had a lot of female attention at the VFWs.
Yes.
Whereas I'd have played a lot of VFWs with my Uncle Mike, who was an actual veteran. He called them very few women.
Man, it's some of the best places to hang out is VFW and American Legions.
They healthy pours, man. Like I remember the first time playing like the Moose and going to like, I was like in college. I got through college playing in my Uncle Mike's band and in another band. I got traded out of a band once. I may get into that story about I got traded for a drummer for drummer. But I remember like I just started drinking, like drinking, like college drinking. And I went up and was like, shot of like fucking lemon drop or something awful like that. And then they just bring out it's like this. It's like a triple shot.
Glass.
It's like that. It's like that. They don't care about the overhead. They have the fees, the member fees, so the
like
booze.
tax-free or something.
Yeah, it's tax-free shit. So like you're just doing like 2 shots is like fucking a half
at a
bottle.
Fancy joint. If you were getting lemon drops, they were just like, "Here, son, here's some whiskey." 20 years old. It's like, you're gonna kill me.
I wasn't the prolific whiskey drinker that I am now back then. You kind of got to build up. You got to like anyone who just starts drinking whiskey probably don't drink that long. Like if your first, what was everyone's first drink? What was your first alcohol you drank, Jared? And I know you're probably the least big drinker on the bunch.
I mean, I've had my moments.
Okay.
I got some stories if anybody wants it.
Yeah, we can't talk about those.
When he starts calling me my full God-given name, Jared's out of it. He gone.
He gone.
Hotness, Rodness.
He's just like Rodney Mansford Elkins a second.
What was your first booze, Jared?
I don't know. I could like the first time I ever got drunk was probably at Rod's house in high school.
I was just about to say, did we try Michelob together?
I think so, maybe.
I think my first beer was with you because I was only liquor.
Yeah.
Until senior year of high school.
Yeah, you started drinking liquor first?
Cruise ship, bro.
Well, I was far from
15 band trip to the Bahamas, smoking Marlboros, and someone hands me, we ordered booze to the room. The International Waters, they didn't give a shit. We were signing the assistant band director's name on it, just like, and someone hands me Absolute Vodka, and I'm just like, I'm giddy about it. Like, let's get drunk. And I take a sip, and I feel like and it was a senior friend of ours. I was a sophomore, and he hands it to him. He's like, "Here, man," and it's Absolute Vodka, and I think they're fucking with me because it tastes like rubbing alcohol. My butthole went inside me. I was like, "What is this?" And they're like, "It's vodka," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's just not my brand."
Yeah, oh man, I like another kind of vodka, not really that kind.
Rodney did that to me one time and turned my gig into kind of a nightmare gig. I was coming off stage and we were playing outside downtown. It was hot. My God, it was hot. And he chucks me a water bottle. So I just take the cap off and just fill my mouth up. And I probably got a swallow and a half in before I realized that it's just straight moonshine.
It's the afterbite that got you.
Yeah, nothing's worse than drinking a water drink out of a bottle that's full of liquor.
Oh my God.
Chase Lewis, our keyboard player in Tyler's band, I'm calling his ass out. He did that to me in El Paso, Texas, getting a comp ticket for the Midland show at the minor league baseball stadium. And I'm high as shit on a gummy. And he was like, "You need water." And I was like, Is it that dumb? Is it that bad? He was like, you need water. He was like, "You need water right now." And I was like, "Yeah, man, thanks. I give you some water." And I'm like super stoned, and I'm just like, and I'm like, and I'm like, "Don't spit it out. Don't spit it out. Don't," because I was about to just spit in front of like 400 people that were standing around. And he goes, "What's your problem?" And I swallowed it, and I was like, "Ah!" I was like, "What was that?" He was like, "It's tequila." And I was like, "God damn it!" Long story longer. He doesn't finish it. It gets back on the tour bus, and he just said, and people leave half bottles of water out on the bus all the time, And what we do with half bottles of water that are left out is we pour them in the Keurig.
Oh no!
Oh.
And James Barker ruined a Keurig.
Oh no, tequila in the Keurig.
It was just tequila in the Keurig. It was like coffee. We're 86 and coffee on the butt. All right.
Oh,
No one
man.
turned that on.
So Jeffrey, I said in I think the first episode, or maybe even in the debut of this whole thing when we did our Taylor Hawkins tribute, that I was at your 21st birthday, and I remember I was trying to be the first person to buy your first legal alcohol. And I think I know what your dad does, Jeffrey. So if you don't want to tell us when your first booze was, what was your first thing you drank?
The first, it was actually like a family Christmas thing. My family started this tradition called Beer Factor, where we would go. This was before anybody in the family at least was into IPAs and stuff. And we'd go get the nastiest sounding beers we could. And some of them still to this day would make me just about throw up at the smell of them because they're so bad. But we just get the nastiest ones and try those. So I wanted to play. I was like 15 or 16, somewhere in there. And they just gave me a blue moon so I could, have something there. But then my sister kept passing the bottle to me for whatever the beer for the game was. And then that was the first drink. And then the very, very next time was like my 17th birthday. Me and we started drinking Jack, man.
There you
Just
go.
went straight to the whiskey.
There you go.
I think everyone has to start on Jack Daniels.
It's in their dad's fridge.
No shit. That's what our parents drink.
It's easier to say.
My first whiskey.
Exactly.
My first whiskey was Henry McKenna.
Oh,
If you've ever drank Henry
I've had
McKenna,
Henry
it can be found on a lower shelf.
You can get those in gas stations.
Yeah, that's usually like a foot level when you go into the liquor store. It's down. You got to bend over.
$13 for a handle.
Yeah,
Yep.
boy.
Like Mr. Justin's vodka. Y'all ever had that?
No,
Mr. Justin's. I haven't. I've had like
Justin's
Gordon's.
$13 a handle.
Oh,
amazing.
Oh my
You
god!
drink that with
vodka.
Sunny D all night?
Oh, Sunny D and vodka. Oh my god!
Not even real orange juice.
You just need an
Sorry.
insulin shot and
Yeah.
a barf bag.
So my first alcohol, and we're going to get back into our nightmare gigs, was where I'm from. Everybody's fucking poor. Nobody's got any money, so you're always looking for that deal. And back in the day, and I don't know if they still do it, and I don't even know if this beer still exists. Speaking of crap beer that Jeffrey was just talking about, was Stroh's gave you a 30-pack. Like you could get a case and get you 24, but for the same price of Stroh's, you could drink 30.
I love
30.
Stroh's.
Dude, the first drink of Stroh's, and my dad at the time, and for a big portion of his life, was a big time beer drinker. And I was like, well, Dad, big Steve Senior, Steve Classic loves this shit. This is gonna be fucking great. Like
Steve Classic.
all Steve Classic does is drink. All Steve Classic does is drink beer. And I drank the first time that Stroh's, and just like. And just like, everybody, your meathead friends like, pussy, fucking blah. And like, let's be honest, when you drink beer for the first time, like, does anyone like drink beer and it's just like, this is like Coca-Cola. This is wonderful. You got
I hated beer.
I tried it. I was like, this
forever.
is like sweaty piss. Like,
It's an acquired taste.
And now we're all going. Now we all talk about our favorite brews or breweries.
now I'm drinking Bud Heavy, thinking, banana. This is delicious. Like,
It has notes of banana in it. So I'm going to give you one nightmare gig. This is just real quick. And I asked beforehand if anyone had a pew pew in their story, and I've got a pew pew in this story. Trying to run around the algorithms in YouTube.
Right.
Playing this fine establishment called the Coal Miners Lounge with this dude named Corncob McCormick and the Diamondback Band. And it was a power trio, and it was
Sounds like Boone County.
well, this was Chucktown. This was Chucktown. I was in college at the time, and this was the band I got traded to by my uncle. And we were, I think the predetermined, agreed upon money was $300 for a 4-hour night. We've all done it. 4 45-minute covers playing Pride and Joy and Can't You See and Give me the beat, boy, and free my soul. You know, that set list that everybody fucking plays.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have played that shit.
I did. Well, that's what I did all through college was doing that and playing like in
Man.
like Southbound by Allman
We'll
Brothers.
compare dive bar sets.
Okay. Let's do that because I have this. Yeah, put a pin in that. But we get done with the gig, and it was one of those deals where no stage. You're just in the hall. You're just in the corner. Stand a corner, and they maybe have like 2 PVs, no monitors. You know, you're running. Got to make a powered head, and if you want your vocals up, you go over and turn them up. We get done. We sat down with the owner, and you know, Corn Cob was his name. His name was Dave. I never called him Corn Cob. We can't call a fucking grown ass man Corn Cob. He looked just like just like Travis Tritt, except you know, a little heftier. And we sat down, and the guy's like, boys, yeah, y'all good damn band. And he puts a gun on the table and $100. And Corn Cob goes, well, fellas, 33 apiece. Let's go. Like, get the fuck out. It's like, oh, yes, we're not going to be going back to that gig anymore.
Like, wait, is the gun supposed to offset the cost?
Well, I think the gun was, you know, I don't
$200 gun.
This isn't a I think it was this isn't a negotiation situation.
It's like a here, take the $100 and go.
Yeah. Well, you know, I don't want to deal with you anymore. So that's mine. Does anyone have a good getting fucked on money story? Because Jeffrey, I know you did a lot of those DIY like house show type things.
Yeah,
something
so
had to go down.
Expecting a lot, but I mean, I drove to California from Huntington for like $75. So
lost money on that gig.
That's cool. But I mean, I think for the most part, it wasn't like we were expecting a lot. So it was never like we were really screwed out of a lot. But so nothing really stands out there as far as money. We've had some that are just like, it's like we're not getting paid or something. Like I know we've had one where the promoter was like, yeah, I'll PayPal you. And that one was one that was supposed to be a little bit more, but you know, they just kept not paying. So we just said, forget about it and never really sweated it.
Yeah, that happened to us as well.
Oh man, that's one for all you cats out there that are going to start gigging or want to start gigging. First of all, don't learn to code, but never let Venmo or PayPal come in. And if you don't have cash in hand, don't leave until you get paid.
Yeah, don't let them be like, I'll PayPal you soon. No, you take it. If they're doing that, transfer immediately see it before you walk out.
Yeah
boy.
Sure.
Yeah, boy. Jared, did you all get paid when you PayPal'd later?
No, we never got
it.
Never do.
Yeah. So does a bar burning down with your gear in it count as a nightmare gig?
I had a barge.
Does a barge sink into the river count as your
wait, was that you?
Cajun Kitchen, baby. R.I.P.
That was your I worked there. I worked the kitchen at Cajun Kitchen for a little while. I fried.
When? What year?
Oh God! I mean, when it was still obviously on top of the water. I can't remember. It was way before I was playing with Bud. I was playing in the jam band at that time. So like 03, 4, 2, 3, 4.
No, I was more like
that.
7, 8.
Okay. So tell us about this hot rod. I didn't know this story.
It was that same band where we did the bar gigs and stuff, like the biker bar gigs and stuff. And I played guitar in it. I didn't play drums in it. And we did the 4-hour shows. Pretty good. You know, it wasn't bad. And we would do the Cajun Kitchen often. And I liked it because I could drink there. And I had a decent shrimp po' boy.
Yeah.
And pretty much just basic. Played one night, a lot of people there. I have a video of it actually, the last time we played. And we played there, talked him into another week, and was like, cool. I just grabbed my guitar, left my pedals, my mic, my amp, everything. There, drummer left his drums, keyboard player left his keyboards, bass player left his bass amp, and all our mics, and I think it might have been our PA at the time. and like a nice Mackie. Or the drummer was a sound guy. He was a sound guy first, and we filched him from another band. And we're like, "You're playing drums," and so he had all this like Mackie gear that was pretty good. I didn't know much about live sound then, so I was like, "It works and it sounds pretty good." So that's all I care about. And long story longer, we left all our stuff, and that was a Saturday night. I was in college, and I'm living at my parents' house still. So I wake up Monday morning, and Dad's like, he comes in, and he's like, "Hey, did you play the Cajun Kitchen over the weekend?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, okay, cool." And he goes, "Do you get your stuff? Do you have your stuff?" I was like, "No, we talked him into another week. So it's all on there." He was like, "Yeah, no, it's not. It's in the bottom of the river." And I was like, "What?" And I didn't like, took me a second. And then I like got up, and he was like, "Yeah, it's on the news. The whole thing sank." And because it was a barge on the river.
Yeah.
And we went down there, and sure shit, man, it was a 2-level barge. And I guess one of the girls there that was always there, poor girl, local lady, that was always there. I didn't know she lived there too. So she's standing there in her pajamas, just crying. And I'm like, "What is going on?" And apparently the hull just like exploded. Like it was just so rusted out or whatever. It just finally like.
Do other
gave way.
places just have random restaurants on barges? Or is that just a here thing?
Nah, I think that's kind of a river culture type thing.
Okay. I've never seen it anywhere else.
There's one there close to where it was now.
Yeah,
Louisiana's got some good ones.
Yeah, boy.
I can.
That makes sense.
And that place was, because I worked the kitchen there, I fried all of our body weights combined amounts of frog legs when I worked the kitchen at the Cajun
decent seafood.
Kitchen.
You could tell
she was real
more.
Cajun. The woman that owned it, she was, she sounded like that dude from Waterboy. I mean, she had that. She had the real deal accent. Like it was. Oh my, you Mike.
Yeah, the shitty thing about that was she had just sold it to a couple from California. So they're assuring us they're gonna, we'll get with the insurance, y'all total up what you lost. I only lost about like $2,500 worth.
Only $2,500.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, like thinking back on it, it's just like, an amp, bunch of pedals that I've had forever, a mic stand, a mic, some cables, the box, like the pedal board box, like whatever. It's just like, probably about $2,500. But like Perry, man, the drummer,
all that fucking PA.
And he had this set of traps, electronic drum set. It was an oldie, but it was drums, and they were about this thick. And I've never heard electronic drum sound so good. They were great. I'm staunch against electronic drums.
Yeah.
In a live setting.
Oh yeah, this is here just to teach on and practice.
Yeah, and it's like, don't like it, and then I was like, "Damn, that sucks." And he was like, "Yeah, man, I just got that board and like all them speakers and stuff too." And I'm like, "Oh shit, like you lost a lot of money." And he was like, God. "Oh yeah." Never heard from him again.
Of course, they don't give a shit, dude. Like, look, man, I've always
probably
said
an inside job.
I've always said that, like, when we play like those kind of gigs, that we're just like maybe a step above the bartender, but probably like a step below the bartender.
We're
right?
The help, dude.
You're the fucking help. You know what I'm saying?
The help.
I bought my actually the drum set that we talked about in the previous episode. Please go check that out. We talked about drums and we got real drum gear nerdy. All of my bad stories come from playing in Corncob McCormick and the Diamondback Band. I've got maybe 2 more after this. We played this place in Gent, Jhent, kind of near Beckley. I can't remember the name of the place.
You pronounce it Gent? I've always called it Ghent.
See, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought you were telling me.
I've always heard it Ghent.
Yeah, see, I'm not sure, but it's right. It's just off that exit, turn left, and it was a place there on the left. And we played there kind of semi-regularly.
Jared's bachelor party there.
We did
at that bar.
I don't remember.
No, we got like a old timey house.
I don't remember where
hold
we
up
were.
For a couple days.
Okay. But we were playing on July 4th and we play, you know, it was those kind of gigs. And we've all probably, if you've done cover bands, you know, you do weekends. And we play like Friday, came back on Saturday. And the kitchen had caught on fire. Now, it didn't get to the gear, but the problem was we walked in and the Ludwig rocker drum set that I talked about in the last episode which was blue, was black. All of our gear, the guitar player had a reissue Vibra Verb, which is kind of a more high-end Fender amp. The bass player, his name was Butch. So I played in a band with a guy named Corncob and Butch. And Butch's shit was he had a red Kramer bass that he had left on stage and it was black. And he had a 810. What's that 810 that everybody uses? Yeah, an 810. Yeah, 8x10 Ampeg. And I think he had like a Sun bass amp. And we came in and it was all black. And we took the weekend after that, we had to cancel the next gig. And we set up in whatever girl Corncob was going out with at the time in her driveway and cleaned all of this gear as much as you possibly could. And you can only get smoke off of that cheap chrome that's on a cheaper drum set. You can only get so much. But that drum set, up until I got rid of it, smelled like smoke for years.
And not the good smoke.
And not the good smoke. Not at all. Man, my cymbals were all blacked out. It was terrible. And then this is while we're on like losing stuff at a gig or not getting what you're supposed to at a gig. When I was back in my jam band days, this could only happen in a fucking jam band scene. We were playing a festival in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, and the big gimmick of this festival was a 24-hour festival, 24 hours nonstop jamming. Yeah, Jared, exactly the face that you're making right now. Exactly.
Sounds like no one's sleeping.
That's right. Yeah. You are correct, Jared, with that face. And we had X amount of money that we were supposed to get, and the festival runner promoter was exactly what you're seeing in your head right now. That Wook person that you're thinking about is that guy. And he came up to my little jam band, and he was like, "Yeah, man, dude, you know, just didn't do well at the festival, and like, not gonna be able to pay him." Maybe he gave us like maybe $50 or something, and we had a conversion vans, and you know, gas prices wasn't as bad as they are now, but it wasn't great. And I think he may give $50, and he gave us an ounce of salvia. Does anyone know what salvia is?
Oh, I know what that is.
Salvia is what when Miley Cyrus got when she got clocked smoking weed underage, their PR way out of it was, "Oh, that's not weed, that's salvia." Well, let me tell you, salvia is fucking worse.
It's a hallucinogen.
It's a hallucinogen that's like a South American herb. And for a little while, it was a big thing in the fucking. And if you're one of my students, turn off this video right now. And I was a young man back then. I had long hair, and I was a fucking mess of a human. I was in my early 20s.
That's ages ago.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's a long time ago. Early 20s, son. And so he gave us like an ounce of salvia, and he's just like, "Yeah, man, if you work the parking lot, you probably make some money." I'm like, "What? I came here to play drums, not fucking play shifty drug dealer at your shitty 24-hour fucking music festival." So, you know, I had to try it, and I got stuck in the van. I couldn't leave. It was like 15 minutes of the most intense fucking hallucinating fucking demons and shit everywhere. And I was just in the van, just like, "Oh God, this is bad. Like this, oh no, took too much. And then like 15 minutes, man, it's like, whew. Well, never doing that again. I probably should go tell the band not to do that, but I didn't. They all got to experience it as well. So yeah,
some things you just got to learn for yourself. You know
what I mean? I'm not here to fucking hold your hand. You're at a jam band festival. What the fuck do you think's going on?
You won't die.
You're not going to die. They're all alive. Probably. Perhaps not. So Hot Rod, what other? You said you had some lately. It seemed like you'd be the one that should be have Captain America's shield against bad gigs.
Well, no, it's really more of an emotional tale rather than a
I'll put in some minor piano music over this.
Yeah. Strap in.
Yeah. So there I was. No, gear was great. It was actually supposed to be, I maybe built it up in my head too much. but it was sold out in London. I forget the area of London because London's friggin' huge. And it was like 3,000 people, 2,000, 3,000 people or something. Just like we stayed up the street. It was your classic, like English looking London, just badass part of town. And everyone looked cooler and acted cooler than everyone on stage, like in the crowd. It was like, we're not cool enough to be here, are we? With our cowboy boots and shit, and that was, I've talked about it before on some other interviews and stuff I've done, but halfway through the gig, I'm feeling like weird, and I start feeling weirder and weirder and weirder. Full blown panic attack.
Tony Soprano shit.
Bro, thought I was dying.
Oh, dude.
And then it started getting worse by the fact I thought I was going to bomb the song.
Oh.
Because I couldn't get it straight.
So then you've got an anxiety ball rolling down the hill.
Yeah. And it was a fast shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
Like very fast.
Easy to drop fast.
Yeah. Like if you swallow funny, you're going to fuck up the groove. And like I'm caveman in everything at this point. Like, I have no finesse. I have no technique anymore. I am just.
Dude, that's how I play all the time. You were fine.
And I can just see the look on everybody's faces in a full-blown panic attack, thinking that it is my fault. And like it was like an old theater churchy, probably from, I don't know, like the 1400s or something, because everything in London
it's from the 1400s.
And I didn't, this was before we had in-ears, so I wasn't crazy about the sound in there at the time, and everyone kind of looks bored, like in the crowd. Like I said, they're cooler than James Dean. And we're just Kentucky, West Virginia boys in London.
Right.
And I look over and I'm about to cry. And Craig's like, and he bebops his way over to me and he's like, "You all right?" And I'm like, like, no, I'm not. No. And he was like, kind of like wasn't expecting me to say no. And like didn't know what to do. And he was like, "You're fine. You're gonna be all right." I'm like, "Am I?" Like they're gonna send me home.
Oh no.
Like all this stuff. Finally, I think it was a solo break. I think eventually Tyler was like, "I won't play something by myself." Not that I did anything wrong or like bombed the gig or nothing, but eventually we got to that point, and it was like got off stage and was just like, I'm smoking a cigarette outside. It's like half snowing. And I'm like, I can't go back in there. I can't go back in there. Just like shaking. Finally go back in there. Did not play well at all. Oof. And it was just like like utter defeat packing my drums up that night. Just like the big city has taken me.
An adult dose of the big city.
Yeah.
Dude,
but
that's the most nightmare gig that we've talked about thus far.
Yeah, like, you win so far.
Yeah, well, it was undiagnosed anxiety that I had that was just manifesting from months and months of touring and drinking, Yeah. Because eventually drinking all the time will just drive you batshit.
Yeah, boy. I tell you what, man, Sober October is one of the best months for me.
Yeah.
Just, because like, I'm not going to die from drinking, but it ain't, I probably drink a little too much. Tell you what, if a doctor talked to me, he or she would be like,
I have the allotted moderated dosage these days.
Yeah. Dude, I tell you what, man, during the fucking pandemic, and I think we should do an episode where like talk about how the pandemic affected all of us. But man, all my gigs got canceled, all my fucking lessons got canceled, my life got canceled, and
whiskey didn't get canceled though.
Oh boy, man,
I was drunk for a month, son.
A month.
I wrangled it in after a month, but I think everybody was drunk for a month.
Did you hit it hard too, Jeffrey?
No, I like went the opposite way.
Really?
I like hardly
Me
drank.
too.
So then when I started like getting together with people again and I'd have a couple beers, I'd be like, "Whoa, these are hitting me way harder than they should."
This post-pandemic beer is different.
Yes, it is. It hits different, man. I remember like doing a shot at like 6 a.m. and just being like, "What am I doing? Like,
Yeah.
what am I getting drunk for 7 a.m.?" Because I went from having
7 a.m. I'm the blackout.
yeah, I had from like I went from doing like 8 to 12 lessons every day to like 2 online. So I had nothing to do. And of course, they had us scared to death that we were going to go outside. We were going to fucking turn into The Walking Dead or some shit, putting on gloves to get gas.
Did the first few trips to the grocery store, did you have a full-on respirator on? Because that's all I had, and I was walking through Kroger.
Dude,
with like a paint,
dude, I had so I'm a woodworker, so I had my full fucking woodworking mask on. So like I looked like a fucking stormtrooper or some shit. It was ridiculous. The ones that have like the HEPA filters on either side.
Yeah, that's what I had for sure.
Yep. But yeah, man, that one, dude, Red Dead Redemption and a fucking handle of Ancient Age is what the pandemic was for me, dude.
That was my birthday last year with you.
Yeah, that's right. Because like we couldn't have a party because we thought we were all going to fucking die, and I was like, man, Hot Rod can't be by himself on his birthday, man.
Yeah.
We just come over to my little tiny apartment.
I got up and left. You're like, all right, good night, and I laid there for 5 minutes, and I went home.
You should have. Well, you didn't live that far from me.
There's a couple blocks.
Yeah, there's a couple blocks right there.
Yeah, so I don't drink and drive, folks. Don't worry.
But I think we're going to do an episode about that. I think that is an interesting subject because a lot of musicians, man. You know what we found out? We found out that like people loved the musicians that they already like. They don't give a fuck about us, man. They didn't give a shit about you local fucks, man. They were like, oh, fucking, I reconnected with Jimmy Buffett in my life. And like, fuck you and your band. You ain't playing at all.
Yeah.
So anyone else got any particular?
Well, I haven't said any yet.
Oh, Jeffrey, go.
Because the drinking will bring me to one of them. Wisconsin likes to drink. Okay, I actually have 2 Wisconsin stories. One in Madison, Wisconsin, I think, maybe La Crosse. Well, we got to the gig at like 2:00. Didn't have to load until like 7. And so we don't have AC in the van. So we got the doors propped open on the side because don't give a shit. So doors just wide open, hanging out in our underwear in the van right at the sidewalk, and people walking by like crazy. And a bunch of people have these mustaches on, like fake mustaches. We're like, what is going on? These people walk up drunk as hell. Hey, is this the porn van? And they're like, God.
It can be.
Because they look in and it's a bunch of half naked dudes just sprawled out sweating. And we're like, no, we're playing here tonight. We just got here early in there. Oh, okay. Well, we're on a pub crawl. Right. All right on. They're like, you guys want to come? I don't know. And they're like, we'll buy your drinks. Right. We're coming. So get dressed and go on this pub crawl. And I kid you not, like people in Wisconsin are so nice. They bought every drink the entire way down this long street. I'm talking, it was like 3:00 when we joined this thing, and we had load in at 7. And we had hit everything. We could get, you're talking the full size glass. I ordered a Jack and Coke. It was $3.50, and it was a full size glass poured 50-50. Crazy. We go all the way down to the very last brewery that's on the strip, and it was the dude that picked this up. It was his brewery. So he says, get anything you want. You want a liter? I'll get you a liter. So I got this big old liter of like a dark beer, and already hammered. I take like one sip and I get a phone call. Hey, we're up next. We got to load in. Oh no, because we got to go all the way back down the street too. And I have a full liter, so I throw it back, the whole liter. And then we start power walking back. This venue is also up 3 flights of stairs, 2 or 3. Yeah. So we have to load in everything up there and immediately we have to set up. We had already loaded in, but we had to set up. And I remember setting my drums up. I remember a little from the set. And then I remember afterwards, that was fucking terrible. I was like, what? It's like, that was absolutely an embarrassment. I'm like, bro, it doesn't matter. Nobody's here. And he's like, this guy came in from 6 hours away to see us play, and you screw everything up. I'm like, I thought it went fine.
As far as I remember.
And he's like, that was so embarrassing. And I was like, nobody's here. He's our friend. He came in. Like, there's a few people, sure, but like, he's cool with us. He understands. He's like, no, this is a problem. And I was like, oh shit. So I was mad. He's like, you guys can mess up every night and it's not a big deal because I hold it down. The one night I want to have fun, heaven forbid. And so I went off. It was just a nightmare, man. And I lost my temper. I was very drunk. So
I'd love to see Jeffrey get
I punched one of the speakers on the side after I was loading gear out, like one of the subs. And I ended up, I believe, cracking a knuckle because it bruised up for weeks. And even to this day, one of the knuckles on this ring finger, right about here, it still has a little knot on it. And it's been a few years, so I think it just like healed back weird. That was that one. But we had another one in Wisconsin where this one was in Milwaukee. We were not in the nicest part of town. We went to Burger King and somebody was trying to sell us drugs in line at Burger King. And we were like, this is kind of weird. Like, we were inside and he's just walking up trying to offer us drugs. We turned him down. He goes, all right. So we walked back to his seat where he was posted up. People were coming into this Burger King to buy drugs. Like,
the only time I go to Burger King.
Yeah. So after this, we go to this dude's house because it was a house show. And this band we were playing with, I can't remember what they were called, but I wouldn't name them anyways. But it was somebody that was watching one of the shows said, how is it touring with Hot Topic, the band? Like, you know what? That's a pretty good name for them. But man, we go in the upstairs show. These were probably on the same tour. The upstairs show, they complained about carrying gear up there. They complained the whole time about carrying it up and carrying it down. They didn't want to do it. We get to this house show. It's absolutely in the hood. Snow everywhere. We could hardly keep our balance loading gear in. It's a real rough house because it's just low income stuff. So it's a real rough house. And we get in there and this guy that we don't know, he's like, yeah, so the promoter, where's he at? Like, who is he not here? Like, no. It's like, let me message him. So he said, oh, he lived in Chicago and we're in Milwaukee. And he said, oh, I got a final today, so I can't make it. So the promoter didn't show up and only one person showed up to watch. But at the time we didn't know that was going to be the case. So he's like, well, I have to leave. The guy who lived in the house had to leave. And he thought the promoter was going to be there for the show, but he wasn't. So he said, all right, so you guys will be carrying this downstairs. We look, it's a tiny little, from his kitchen, it's almost like a hidden staircase, really tiny, twisted staircase going down into the basement. That's just an unfinished basement with a rinky-dink PA down there. We're like, okay, so we start carrying gear down there. Well, Hot Topic, the band, decides they don't want to do it.
Hot Topic.
So they're sitting on this couch, just pouting, this band, they're from New Jersey.
Hey, do you think that all their avatars are anime characters? Like online?
A couple of them are.
For sure.
Like, I for sure saw one of them was.
Oh.
But
nailed it.
So we're sitting here. This dude, he played a little Madden with us before he left, but we're waiting around for showtime. He ends up leaving. We don't see anybody else in the house. And then, but like, we thought it was just like his house and he was gone. And then like a door moved to the side, not like opened, like it was off the hinges, moved to the side. And like somebody else slid through the door, like they were trying to squeeze through, slid it back. And we're like, there were a bunch of people in there, and there were other people in another room, and I was like, he's got a family of like 15 people. It's like his grandma, his brothers, sisters, his cousins, everybody, dogs, all this. They were all just hiding in the room while he left, and we were just in his living room waiting for this show. We're like, this is kind of weird. One person showed up.
The family didn't even come over to watch?
No, they were hiding away. I guess they didn't want anything to do with this. So they're hiding away. I was like, that's kind of weird, but whatever. Maybe they're leaving. We had this one person that showed up. We had already carried our gear down there. Hot Topic, the band, stayed upstairs. They didn't come down and watch us play. We were like, we're putting a show on for this dude. We had some friends from Chicago that came up and played too. Put on this show in this basement, had a fun time, and we get up to load gear out into this blizzard. And there's his like grandma in the kitchen doing dishes. And we were like, oh, hey, she did not look up from the dishes. She just sat there washing dishes right beside the door that we had to load all the gear out and walk back in, load out, walk back in. Never looked at us. We never saw the guy again. It was just like, he greeted us at the door, played a game of Madden, and left. And we were there for probably 5 hours in this house with his family that was just hiding.
That's so fucking.
It was
what was
so
going on?
Weird.
That is super strange. Like I always say this when I hear nightmare gig stories. It's like, this has to be the only profession where this kind of shit goes. An accountant doesn't have to worry about getting set up in his or her room, and there's just like some shady family off in the
dude. That's how horror movies start.
That is how horror movies start.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
like,
doubt.
oh, come play this house show, and then they lock the basement fucking door.
That is exactly how that shit
That's
starts.
pretty much how it was. It was like going down into a dungeon. That's crazy. I didn't even think about that.
You escaped.
Yeah.
You should be glad.
The grandma would have turned around and just didn't have a face or something, and then the end of it.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Because she wasn't turning around the whole time.
Right?
And
I
finally
know.
She did.
I think we just wrote a movie.
No doubt. Yeah,
That's
for sure.
All right, I have like 2 really quick sound man stories.
I was gonna do 2 quick sound man stories too. You go first.
Oh
okay.
God.
Played in Louisville the same day that Trump was in town.
Oh God.
So it was a madhouse. But that was a part, like we got stuck in traffic on the way there because they had everything blocked off for the motorcade. So we get there, and apparently the sound man was tired of waiting on us. So he dropped a bunch of acid before we played. And so the sound man was on acid. So the sound was terrible. So that's pretty much the end of that story.
So he was out there like trying to like make you more psychedelic. He's probably
dude.
Big swells left and right.
Yeah, he probably thought he was killing it.
Dude,
he's like, this snare drum needs reverb.
It was
crazy. He's probably having an orgasm every time.
He's pretending he's a DJ. He's back there, just like moving the fader.
Yeah, the sound was crazy. It definitely was like doing sweeps and stuff. Like it was wild.
Yeah.
And then we have another one where it was one of the first gigs that we'd played, and we had they were like, you have to have 45 minutes. And so we rolled in and we were like, we have 45 minutes, nothing more. Right. So we get to our last song, we play the last song. And so the dude comes over the talkback mic and he's like, let's hear an encore. And so he's encoring us, and the bar was pretty packed. It just happened to be packed. Like they weren't there for us. It just happened to be packed. And so they, pick up the chant or whatever. And we're just like, we really don't have any other songs. Like we have this 45-minute set. That's it. And so we just kind of threw together, we had just messed around with a cover. And it was just like one of those covers that everybody knows. I think it was All Right Now or whatever. And so
can't you see? It was can't you see?
Yeah, it was like something, it was just like, okay. And so then the guy who's running sound is trying to sing harmony with us over the talkback mic from the back of the room. And is just like doing grace lines and runs and stuff like in the middle. Like, I swear to God, this happened. And so
should have threw it to him. Been
I've
like,
seen
take
that
it.
in Nashville
there you go, brother.
at a
Yeah.
writer's round.
Yeah, it was so strange. And so then we played down the street like months later. We're playing a show, and I look out, and this dude's in the front. It's at a different bar. His dude's in the front, and he watches the whole set. And we come off stage, and he was like, "Hey, man, how's it going?" You know, and we were trying to be cool. I mean, it was definitely weird and uncalled for what had happened at the bar months ago. But he goes, I was like, are you working here now? And he was like, no, I'm still working at the other place. I was like, didn't they have a show? And he was like, yeah, man, I just wanted to come see you guys. So he left the show that he was supposed to be running sound for to come and listen to us down the street, and was just like, so the other people were just like, I don't know, and just had to play a show without a sound man.
Man, once you get it dialed in, son, you don't have to do
Yeah,
anything
fine.
else.
Turn it
man.
on.
Just turn it on.
Yeah,
It's dialed in, son.
that was
It's
that was in Charleston, by the way. If anyone is surprised at all,
Fucking,
Yeah.
No,
I hate
not
that.
at all.
Fucking
I
town.
think
dude.
I know who
I
was
have
running
almost no
sound.
good experiences in Charleston, but when
Dude,
they're good, it's
so
good. But
I was, and at one time I was in the most popular band in Charleston. Like, it was a pretty empirical fact of that. You know, we were the fucking, we were, well, but I'm saying it sucks. Like, we had the whole city was open to us. We could do anything.
Drive
I'm
here.
just
We could
messing
play
with
center
you,
anytime we
man.
wanted to, and it was fucking terrible. Like, Wes Smith texted me the other day and was like, man, I'm never gonna play in Charleston after this. He was like, hey, you know, the Brother Smith, who is such a great band, and he's such a good dude. He was like, you know, you got a place to play in Charleston for me. I was like, yeah, don't. Like, just good. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, he was like, well, we got a day, we're coming through there. I was like, go sightseeing. Go to Pipestem, you know what I mean? Go to Fayetteville. Like, don't do it. It's an unnecessary gig to play. It's all
Yeah.
deadbeat. And here's what sucks about
We're
that
all
town.
in trouble now.
Oh God, I'm
Everybody
I'm,
except for Rodney.
I'm subbing.
boycotting.
I'm
the-
subbing.
I've never
I'm
had a
s-
good gig at the Empty Glass. I'll tell you
no.
that.
How does
That's
that
what I
place
just said. I said
exist?
I've been boycotting the Empty Glass.
I've
hit my
boycotted that a long
drumstick
time
on
It's
the
ago.
ceiling.
impossible to play well there unless you're like
No.
drunk as
Yeah.
piss on PBR Tall Boys,
Oh, God,
and then
speaking
no
of-
one cares how you're
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no shit. I'm playing with the now probably the most popular band. I'm subbing for the
Here
company
we go
stores.
again.
But my
Here we
point
go
is,
again.
I told
Oh, it
them
must suck.
they were asking. They were like, "Hey, can you
I
sub?"
got that shirt.
And I told him, I was like, "Dude, I was like, I'm not playing any Charleston shows." Like, I know they're all out on the road. I was like, "Okay, I'll do those. I'm trying to never play there again." Which I think after this episode,
Yeah, I think
After-
you were.
After
So
Mountain
good.
Stage Jams
Put a
are
pin
probably
in
the
that.
only Mountain Stage, and after Mountain Stage Jams are the only cool gigs in Charleston.
I've got a decent nightmare gig for Lucero. When I played Mountain Stage for the first time with Bud, we went to the after jam because we thought Sam Bush was going to show up, and he fucking, of course, didn't. And if you know anything about Lucero, and I know Hot Rod does, I don't know if it's how it is now. You know, my waifu is a Lucero fanatic. She has a Lucero tattoo. And those boys, them Memphis boys like to drink, son. They like to drink. And they played Mountain Stage drunk. Like, they were hammered at Mountain Stage, which is what, a 7 p.m. downbeat, Rod? 7:30?
Yeah.
So this is Empty Glass later. And old Ben gets up there and is going to do some solo work. And dude, he just bails in the middle of a song. Like, he's
Oh, no
playing
way.
this blood. He's just like, oh, sorry, guy. I just can't do this. And everybody was there for him, right? They were the drawl of that whole thing. And dude,
Right.
you just saw, like, he just ruined the whole crowd. And Bud's like,
No.
we shouldn't go play now because everyone in here's fucking,
Salty.
yeah, well, they're all fucking disinterested and disappointed because Ben can't keep it together to get this
Wow.
gig through there. Yeah. Hot Rod, do you have a too drunk to play gig? Because I have one.
Well,
Well,
the core rhythm section that is the food stamps now did 70 some 69 70 some consecutive Sundays at Shamrock's Irish Pub
I'd
in
pour one out
downtown
on the
Huntington.
ground if I could.
Huntington, West Virginia. I think I have 69 to 70 some too drunk to play.
That was every Sunday, right? Every Sunday?
Yeah, every Sunday.
Every electric Sunday.
Every electric Sunday. Yeah, there was a time when we were all really drinking, and I can remember Peoria, Illinois. It was like, oh God, they called it something. It was like bull riding barrels and buckles or something. And in Peoria, Illinois. I don't know how much bull riding's going on in Peoria. Side story, real quick. The Uber I took that day, the guy claimed to have wrote Twister. And
the movie?
He wrote it and they stole it.
Not driving an Uber.
Well, I also had a science teacher that said that he invented the skateboard. So
yeah.
And the boom
box. It's not about who invented it first; it's who did something with it, right?
Made it to market.
So I looked it up. His name was on a lawsuit for it, so I gave him credit. I have a little video about him talking about it that just kind of secretly.
Is it Bill Paxton's fault?
No, he said it was an agent he had's fault.
I don't think he ever did anything wrong.
It's always the agent's fault.
He said he had he was like, y'all got a good agent. And like, it's like, well, I mean, he's all right. He's our friend, you know? And he's like, you got to get a good agent, man. He's like, I wrote Twister. And it was like that much silence after. I was just kind of like,
so good.
Looking at him through the I was in the back,
about it every
looking
day.
through the rearview mirror, like, no shit. Like, keep going. But so anyways, Jamie Johnson headlines. We pretty much
I've heard this story.
We pretty much spent the entire time between not playing and when Jamie Johnson invites us up to sing religious songs on stage. We just spent that whole time drinking. And then
Did you talk about this on here?
Maybe.
I don't think so. I think I've heard this offline. I think I've heard this offline.
But I can't remember. I thought it was his wife at the time, but I don't think it was. But some lady was like, Jamie, so happy to have y'all. We're gonna it's gonna be so much fun. You're gonna have a great time. And then just 2 doobies in the mouth and just and like, here you go. And we're just like, I still got a drink in my hand and all this other stuff. And it's like, all right, time to go on. And I'll walk out just like Tommy Boy and Black Sheep in that scene in the movie. And he walks out and he's all, and brother, I remember walking out and that was about it.
Yeah.
And however many thousands of people just singing I'll Fly Away and all this other stuff. And I wish I would have got the audio and you could pull everything out but us singing. And just to hear what that sound.
Man, that sound guy down there was burying them vocals.
Oh man. It was rough. And I vowed never to drink that much and play ever again.
Well, you didn't think you were going to play.
Well, technically I wasn't playing, I guess.
Right.
But like playing drum, I really hate playing drums drunk now.
Yeah.
Or any kind.
Too.
I don't drink at all.
I like to have a couple.
I like to have a little lubrication.
I don't even do that anymore, man. Because
I do a little lube.
I'm always like, as soon as I mess up, I'm like, it's because I had a drink.
Yeah. Jeffrey, what you just said, it's like sometimes I think that I can not, I'd like to bring up the word again, have the anxiety of like trying to go for something that maybe I wouldn't do if I wasn't a little lubricated. And, sometimes
I like that risk, but in control. In controllable risk.
I wish that I was as confident in a show as I am in every single practice. Because then every show would be great.
That's what happens when I have 2 or 3 beers. Or if I think I'm that confident if there's a big crowd that's into it.
Okay. Yeah, that's different too.
Yeah. But yeah, I like a little lubrication, only a couple Jaeger shots. I used to take a couple Jaeger on stage, little Jaeger shots. You know what I'm saying?
I finally learned how to be confident and not drink.
We talked about that on the Taylor Hawkins video. Now we're being real. We're being 100% real.
Is it the 10,000 people?
Yeah, no shit. Is it the sold out Red Rocks, motherfucker? Oh, hey, are you confident about
I need to get over to that one.
Just making
playing
my
Madison
bed,
Square Garden?
No, it's really just, I mean, part of we can talk about that on the pandemic episode or whatever, but I fell back in love with playing good drums.
My God.
And
I fell in love with double bass drumming during the pandemic because I fucking
not
bought,
everyone's perfect.
No, I mean, well, see, I'm not a double bass player, and I'll probably never get good enough to actually perform it because I am in a metal band, and there is a fucking like shred guitar player in that band that does want double bass, and I can't do it very well, but I needed something to get, first of all, to get me off Red Dead Redemption 2 because that was my life, son. Me and Arthur Morgan was
Arthur.
We were getting shit done, son, during the pandemic, boy.
Dude, Dutch can kick rocks. That's
Dude,
all
fuck
I know.
Dutch Schultz, man.
rocks.
Fuck him. Dude, okay, I don't know if Hot Rod played, but I know Jeffrey did. They have to make a series from that show, from that video game. How is that not a thing?
Needs to be a movie because that's a 60-hour movie in that game alone, and that's
Yeah.
a prequel.
Yeah. And dude, did you? And I'm assuming that you all did Red Dead first, Red Dead
course.
Redemption, right?
Of course.
I
did
never.
not.
Oh, you've not played
I
that
played
yet?
a little bit of it, but no, I didn't go through the whole story.
So this
It's
is me
fantastic.
And you. It's me and you, Jared. Did you ever think that you would get a character that you liked better than
More than
John
John?
Marsden? And
No.
Arthur Morgan is so much cooler than John Marsden.
No, not at all. It was that game is flawless.
It's flawless, too.
Flawless.
Perfect. And Jeffrey, what's cool about you playing it? We'll get back into music here in a minute. Is Jeffrey, you'll get to actually play it like in storyline, in
Right.
linearly.
Right.
You need to do that. Like, I don't know if you have shit to do, and you know how Red Dead takes your life over, and Red Dead Redemption 1 is no different. But the next time that you want to take your life over, go play that because it's
I've
every
already
bit as good.
explored the map because when you finish 2, you can go back into the map from 1. So I've already explored the whole map.
Yeah.
Dude, it's a
I know my way.
masterpiece. Dude, in Red Dead Redemption 2, when they're coming back from Cuba, and that was kind of weird. Wanted to go to Cuba. That was a weird little sidetrack. But when they came back and that fucking D'Angelo song, where you're
I
doing
love
that
that song so much.
Oh my
Will
God.
I be unshaken?
It's
Oh
so good.
God, it's so good.
It's so
I got that
good.
on my phone.
It's perfect. Like the cinematics of that,
Oh,
matching that fucking song.
Sometimes
my
I just
God.
drive. If I'm in the middle of the night on a night drive,
yeah.
I just put the windows down and crank that song, and I
Yep.
just
It's a
I'm in the mood.
masterpiece. It's a masterpiece
You
of a
could drive.
song.
You could drive across the country to that song.
It's fucking wonderful, man. I can't wait to do some episodes where we actually do talk about like music like this. We're going to get into that later for sure. I have a nightmare gig that involves a bouncer that did not understand the concept of bouncing. So this is, of course, with Corncob McCormick and the Diamondback Band, and we're playing in Lincoln County, and deep Lincoln County, like
Hometown
Yawk,
show.
like Yawk. That's what, dude. That's where he's from. He's from Yawkey.
yeah.
He's from Yawkey. And we're playing near Yawkey. If you know where y'all have to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I've never been to Yawkey, West Virginia.
Yawkey, son.
Yeah,
And the bouncer, and for whatever reason that night there was just like a lot of troubles going on. And the bouncer, instead of like, bouncing, he would just start beating the two guys up. So then it kind of like it ping pong. So you like beat up and he was this gigantic hoss of a southern fucking coal field fucker, and he was just destroying motherfuckers. Like it was world star hip hop the whole night. and what happened, like he would beat two guys up, and then those people would get mad, and then they'd fight, and then like there was like literally the first set, there was like fucking 3 or 4 brawls in the middle of playing Can't You See and fucking Cold Shot, and we got done with the first set, and the owner came up in a panic and was like, "Here's your money, full pay, leave. Just get your shit, because I can't guarantee the health of your gear, because I can't control this big gigantic motherfucker, Kevin, big fucking hick Kevin Nash looking motherfucker over here that has obviously just come here to World Star Hip Hop all night." So yeah, we got like, dude, I was home by like 11.
That's
instead of being
awesome.
home at like
Perfect.
3:30, full pay. It was
Yeah,
fucking
perfect.
perfect. Do that gig every month.
I played at the Parrot in Charleston,
Ugh.
and there was probably the same motorcycle club there because it was bike night at the levee.
We're making it sound
And-
like we live in Sons of Anarchy.
I mean,
for real. Well, it was bike night at the levee. So they come over there afterwards. And brother, it was a pop punk night.
Oh,
And these gentlemen and their lovely wives and lady friends,
companions,
are yelling for covers. And they want CCR.
Mustang Sally.
And Down in Round 3 is up there. This pop punk band that just, the closest thing they'll do to cover is Fall Out Boy. And they're like, we don't know that. And they just start playing, and they come back and be like, stop playing originals, play cover. It could have gotten real bad real fast, but luckily it didn't. So as soon as the show is over, we all start loading out our gear. And my buddy Chris was playing with his pop punk band, and he had to go out the back to get to his car so he could pull it around in the alley, because he had parked in a space back in the alley. So he goes to the back door, and there's a gentleman standing there in his leather vest with his arms crossed. He's standing right in front of the door, and he goes, and like, Chris is like, what do you mean? He goes, not this way. And he's like, my car's back there. I got to go get my gear. He goes, all right. Opens the door to the alley. There are bikers beating each other like to the death back there. And people are like, yeah, go.
So it's Sons of Anarchy in the back lot.
Yeah. And he escorted him through to get his car.
We swear it's not as bad as it sounds, but
none of us got hurt.
Because here's the thing, and Hot Rod can attest to this, because I've played a few of my biker rallies in my day as well. Dude, no one, if you're playing the music that they want, if you're playing those said covers that they were screaming at you like a maniac, if you're giving the people what they want, they treat you like fucking gold.
Hot Rod, it's like you're in the club.
Seriously, they dude, they'll give you anything that you ask for. Question:
what don't you touch in a biker bar, Steve?
I mean, you can't touch their collars. You know what I mean? You can't touch
their
It's
vests. An object. Well, it's bigger than that.
I don't know.
The front door.
You don't touch the front door?
They have to open the front door for you.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
Someone, the sergeant of arms or whatever, will open the door. Like the ones I've done have always like, and someone will get it for you. And then like you would just be standing there like trying to go get my snare drum out of the car. And someone open it, and then you buzz and stand there, and someone opens the door and you just walk in. It's like, it's crazy.
Like going to like talking about like, crowds yelling at you. Here's one for you, Jeffrey. I was playing in my Uncle Mike's blues band. It was like a straight up like blues band, played like Keys the Highway, like that, traditional blues shit. And we're playing somewhere in like St. Albans, and we're playing in the middle of playing like fucking, we played Elizabeth Reed in that band, something like that. And the guy comes up and he's like, hey, y'all play any AC/DC? And my bass player, the guest guy named Sean, who lives in North Carolina now, he shakes him off no, and he just goes, your band sucks. He just walked away. Like, yeah, man, if we don't play AC/DC, we probably do suck, man.
That reminds me of a Nightmare gig where I was playing in Mansfield, Ohio. And it was a really cool venue. They had like, a couple pool tables, but like the corner where the bands were playing, loaded up with a bunch of guitars hanging, mounted on the wall. It was awesome. Well, then the crowd showed up that was not necessarily looking for hardcore or hard rock or metal or whatever. They were wanting maybe country. And they were all middle-aged, and all the bands were playing like, Every Time I Die style music.
Oh, excellent breakdowns. Breakdowns.
As Fever War's playing and Nick's doing his thing where he goes absolutely nutso, a dude threw a beer bottle at him and hit him.
Oh, no.
So Nick took the stool and like tossed it his direction, came back to me and went, I just got hit by a beer bottle. Hell yeah. And went back to doing what he was doing.
It's like a badge of honor, man.
we got to our van, and somebody had gotten in there and stole a bag of Abe's Veed. And so he was like, I got about a smoke that's gone. I don't know what to do. And so we went to the bartender, and she shut everything down and yelled, whoever stole the weed out of their van, go put it back now. And it's like, she was ready to take it. And it's like, that is hilarious. And
we've got
so
morals
like,
in this bar.
I'll find you. I'll check the cameras. You better put it back. Sure enough, next time we went back to the van, it was back. But guess what else? Once we got loaded in, the dude left his jacket. So Jaden got a new jacket.
Wow.
We've
got principles around here. We do not steal or
it's hilarious. So you're talking sound guy issues. I showed up to one, it was in Virginia, like Richmond, Virginia or something. Roanoke, I think, actually. And we show up. It's like one of those hole in the walls. It's just like a straight line. You have enough room for the bar stools and a walking path to get to the bathroom, basically. We had to play there. Where? I don't know. So we played facing the bar when there's not even room. So
just in a straight line.
Walk through the band to get to the bathroom. But we were like, where's the PA? And the bartender's like, huh? Like, there's no PA? She's like, no, not you guys are bringing that. No. So somebody went home, got a PA head and a Marshall 412 and one microphone. And that's how we ran the vocals. And the bouncer, so we had that rig. And anytime somebody else has got to sing other than the front man, the mic's being handed to you. So I'm getting handed a mic while playing drums just straight over the middle. Bouncer is also showing off his drawings that he did while on meth. Just these crazy drawings. Like, I did this when I was on meth. It's like this. Da, 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 da.
Did you buy any of them?
No.
Were they cool?
No. It was scribbles.
You can tell Jared, of course, the artist, the resident artist here at the Brototoms podcast, is like, maybe it was a cool one.
He's like, must try meth.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, let me hit one more, and then it's probably about time to sign off. I was in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and at one of my first tours, and this dude at the bar was absolutely loving us. There's a picture of him pouring a pitcher of beer into Jaden's mouth while Jaden's shredding a guitar. It's awesome. Fish Island's real close on it. Looks staged. Absolutely not. It was so cool. He's like, you guys need a place to stay? We're like, yeah. He's like, dude, I got a house, TV, comfortable couches. Come stay. I'll feed you. All this. We're like, awesome. We go back to his place. He has no food. He lied about that. And his roommate's like, I'm sorry, guys. I'll go get food. So he went to Walmart, stocked up. We're sitting there just in the guy's living room. He's just standing around. Kind of seems like he's mad that we're there. And he's like, this isn't nightmare gig. It's nightmare post gig. Yeah. He's going, probably about time to go to bed. We're like, okay. And then he went into his back room and came out like, woo! Favorite fucking war. We're like,
Ric Flair showed up.
Whoa. All of a sudden, he's like, let's party. We're like, what? He's like, you guys want any meth? We went, what? He goes, I'm just kidding. I'm like, I don't think he's kidding. So then his roommate comes back. He'd gone to Walmart and bought so much food for us. The guy just goes over and starts eating it, eating all of it. He's cooking. He's like, I'll make some burgers for everybody. We're like, sweet. He makes one burger and starts eating it and turned off like the skillet. And we're like, hey, are you going to make anything for us? And he goes, are you kidding me? I guess. Turns it back on and he starts like, then he's just like eating all the chips and stuff in his room. It's like, dude, stop. This is for them. I bought it all for them. And he's like apologizing to us. And the guy, again, it's like, make sure you guys are out by 8:00 tomorrow. We're like,
we're going to be out tonight.
Okay. And he's like, you can probably keep it down a little bit. Like, gee, we shouldn't have come here. Like, he doesn't want us here. Went back to his room again, comes back again. Whoa! woo. This happened like 3 times where he'd be so down about us being there, walk back there, come out, and he is just nutso. We're like, this guy is doing some crystal.
That is some quick decaying crystal right there.
Yes, it is.
I mean, to be fair, it lasted we were there for a long time. Like, but we got out of there early in the morning. Didn't say
Goddamn right. Yeah, no shit. Yeah. Well, fellas, I want to end it with this story because I've been trying to get this story in some way on this channel for 3 years now. Exactly 3 years. 3 years and a couple days. This isn't a nightmare gig. This is a lifelong revenge story against all of the nightmare gigs that my Uncle Mike played. So my Uncle Mike is a very important figure in my life as a musician and probably as a man. He's kind of like the secondary father figure. Hot Rod is kind of like, imagine all of your uncles, rolled into one fucking cool guy, just like your fucking uncles were and dad. Mm-hmm. And he had spent his whole life, and he was this great, just legitimate, real deal blues slinging motherfucker. And he always looked like the coolest blues slinging motherfucker, but he wanted to work, so he always had to play country gigs and, southern, with some southern rock overtones, with basic country gigs. Well, at the end of his life, he's a Vietnam vet, and he got a gigantic sum of money from the government for all of this back. I think it was like Agent Orange or something like that. So fortunately, the last couple years of my uncle's life, he lived like a fucking Republican. He fucking spent money and fucking traveled, and it was wonderful. So we were playing at a Moose, and I'm not going to say a Moose because I think the statute of limitations is up on this. So my Uncle Mike had just played all of these years of these gigs where, like, you're the help. We talked about it earlier. You're not a featured entertainer. You're fucking below the bathroom attendant. You know what I mean? Like that. And we were playing a Moose, and Hot Rod, you may have had to deal with this. They kept telling us that we were too loud because they couldn't hear the bingo going on next door.
Ooh, I've had similar, but not bingo.
But so 2-3 times they come up, tell Uncle Mike's, turn it down. It's just too dang loud. Hot, can't hear B-52 next door. And Uncle Mike had just got all that bread. And we go first set. And then like the Moose Gestapo showed up, like these 3-4 old white dudes, gray hair came over and was talking down. Like Michael sat down and they were standing up and talking down to him. He's a proud fucking Air Forceman and proud Southern man. And they're like, you're just too darn loud. We paid you to do a gig and, you're going to get good money for this. You're not fucking paying attention, blah, blah, blah. And Uncle Mike just goes, hey, you know what, fellas? You can take this gig and shove up your fucking ass. He's like, I'm going to pay this. And he's like, and I don't want your money. I'm going to pay this band double what they were supposed to get for this gig. And we're fucking leaving right now. So they clear out the gig. Like everybody leaves. They see that there's definitely a teams have set up in the VFW. And dude, Uncle Mike comes to me and my 2 buddies who were in my jam band. And we also played in his country band at that time. And he goes, take everything. He goes, if it's not nailed down, take it. Dude, we pulled off fucking like, have the plaque of like Moose Man of the Year. No. Dude, I took plaques, fucking ashtrays. I told this story at his funeral. This is the story that I cracked up the crowd with.
Yeah.
If it was a shot glass, it was in the van. We had a conversion van in that band too. Every fucking thing, all the things, plates, anything that was left on the table, it went home with us. And it was like Uncle Mike's, big fuck you to all of those years of being not treated with any kind of dignity that he deserved. And the last piece de resistance. And he just had this real low voice. He's like, and my family calls me Stevie because I'm a junior, right? He just, Stevie, I need you to come over here. And I'm like, oh, fuck, what are we stealing now? And he goes, well, and they had like a stack of rack gear, right?
Yeah.
On the stage. He's like, well, I reckon we probably can't put that in the van, so I need you to watch me and make sure nobody comes around. Uncle Mike pulls it out and takes a piss all over that rack shit, all over it, dude. and we jetted, and he never played one of those gigs ever again. He immediately put together, he took the players that he wanted out of the country band, which was me and my 2 buddies that were in our jam band. We were all music school kids. One was saxophone player, one was fucking Jocko type bass player, and we put together a blues band that he only ever played blues music. He finally got to play the kind of music he wanted to because he could financially like afford to, right? So that was his big old fuck you to all these undignified gigs that he had to do his whole life. And I'm so glad I got to tell that story.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Dude, we had so much. I didn't buy an ashtray for years. We took every fucking ashtray out of that moose, man. We took anything that wasn't, like I said, we had multiple plaques off the wall that was like dated back to like head moose woman of the year fucking 1987 or some shit. We had all of that stuff, and that's that's what happens when
for you.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh, everybody, this is so long ago. I was in college. This is right around college. All those guys are all fucking dead. I don't give a shit, man. Fuck you. I got bills and shit. So I guess final thing is, man, if you're going to be a giggy musician in this business, it's not all. I always tell when students come and say they have desires to be a full-time musician, I'm like, okay, the last con, I'll ask them like the last concert you went to, and Hot Rod, you don't count. And they'll say, oh, we saw fucking Justin Bieber or something like that, because one of my students just saw Justin Bieber. And I was go, okay, it's the 100 degrees of that is what you're going to get. Like if you're lucky and you've got your skills ready and you get lucky to have that gig that you do get to do that kind of shit, fucking mazel tov and good on you. But the like 98% of the time, if you're out there in that gig, you got to keep your head on a swivel because your monitor may blow up. And maybe you may want to think about like taking your gear home, and even if you are going to play there the next week, because maybe it might end up at the bottom of a damn lake.
A river to be exact.
Yeah, river. I just want to do the old brother. I want to do the old brother art now fucking line.
Yeah.
Or you may end up in a fucking shifty home where there's like like possibly the family from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I have no idea how many were actually there. It was crazy.
Behind a door with
Bob's
no
Meth
hinge.
Burgers.
So fellas, man, thank you all for coming to do this. We're going to be doing this more semi-regularly down the road. For Hot Rod, for Jeffrey, and for Jared, my three best drum friends. This has been the Brototoms podcast, and we'll see y'all later.